All right, all right, all right. We're a little bit late on that one, but that's okay. It is July 24th, and it's a Wednesday, which means this is the day that precedes, follows Tuesday. And what happens on Tuesday nights? Smackdown Live. And we're here to talk about it. But we're not just going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other stuff as well, because some things happened over the evening that more than likely is just a troll. And this is where I want to start with, because I find it very entertaining. I find it really funny, and I find it incredibly, hopefully true in some ways. And I'll explain why. Let's start with here, because this is the only reason why I saw this, the only reason why I even was aware, is because I was in excruciating pain last night and did not sleep till about 2 in the morning. So I'm just going ahead, looking at stuff on the old interwebs, checking out the Twitter feeds, and what do I see? None other than a question issued to Corey Graves about his absence from SmackDown last night, because both he and Byron Saxton missed SmackDown Live last night. Of course, Byron, we know, unfortunately, his father passed away. Condolences to him. Biggest thoughts, biggest, deepest wishes to his entire family. It's never easy losing anybody, let alone your father, especially a unbelievable father like the one that Byron had. I mean, like, do a little research into Byron Saxton's father. Dude was basically a friggin' hero. I mean, Master Sergeant in the Navy. The dude was just, he's a straight baller, man. Absolute awesome individual, and it's a tough blow to anybody. Now, I see, when my dad died, it didn't matter because he was just a fucking stupid hillbilly. But this dude, this is a loss. This is a major loss, and it's really sad. So it was understandable why Byron missed, but nobody was able to figure out why Corey Graves missed SmackDown. And honestly, I was a little bit interested. Michael Cole said that he was at a movie. That was the only explanation that happened on SmackDown, was that Corey Graves missed SmackDown because he was at a movie. And this seemed to be already somewhat planned, because they made a lot of changes last night to SmackDown. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Shawn Michaels' move and how he was supposed to be on commentary. But they ended up going with the New Day. And I got to say, thank God that they did. But back to Corey Graves for a moment, because nobody can figure out why Corey was not on television. Well, allow Corey Graves to explain why he was not on SmackDown last night. Let's take a look at it. Somebody wrote to him and says, "Where the hell was Corey Graves tonight on SmackDown? Did I miss something?" To which Corey replied, "I quit." Now, I am not the most up-to-date on internet speak culture. However, I think this might be real, and here's why. Because when you are sarcastic, when you are trolling, you got to put something, right? You got to put that little stupid robot emote thing at the end, or like a crying emote, or a winky face, or something. You got to put something at the end, or you're speaking truth, right? That's how the internet works. So he said he quit, and honestly, had that been it, I probably wouldn't have even covered it. But this was really funny, because Sliced Wrestling then replies, "Dirt sheet version, WWE Graves to AEW to wrestle Jon Moxley." To which Corey Graves answers, I am with his wife. It's just good stuff. I like Corey Graves for a lot of reasons. I also don't like Corey Graves for a lot of reasons. I think Corey is somebody who I feel over the last couple of years has kind of bought into his own. He's drinking his own Kool-Aid. He's buying into the old hype. He's smelling himself. He's a little shirty. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Because for the last couple of years, especially when it first came on, a lot of people, including myself, made comparisons to Bobby Heenan. And I think that kind of got to him a little bit, where he's believing it and he likes to fuck with people. And that's fine. I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful thing. It's good for wrestling. It's good for kayfabe. It's good for everything. Lies are part of wrestling, and there's nothing wrong with it. But what if, for a second, if he did quit out of nowhere? How fucking hilarious would that be? Because Corey has, over the last couple of years as well, especially over the last few months, has shown some frustration and has reportedly gotten some heat at times. He's a very outspoken guy, and he's somebody who has been reined back in a little bit over time. So pretty interesting altogether. I think there might be something here, but more than likely not. And the biggest reason why more than likely not, because he's fucking Carmella. It's just like, we've seen all of the compromises and everything that wrestlers and people have made to stay together, and even WWE trying to keep couples together. Yeah, I don't know if Corey's going to go anywhere else. He ain't going to go too far from Miss Carmella. I wonder why. I don't blame him. She can't wrestle, but God, can she look good. God, can she look good. Big shout to everybody in the chat. Zanta Claws, who, by the way, is a newest member of the wrestling news team with Terry and Bear, kind of. He's kind of a part of it. If you want to be a part of it, we certainly need more news. We certainly need more people in there helping me do my job, because Lord knows I'm not good at it. But we'll get more people in there. Big shout out to him. Also, huge shout out to Fake Ass Twat as well for once again putting together these wonderful graphics once again. Thank you so much, Fakey. I love you. I love you, love you, love you. What's going on, Flynn? Come on, Dave Mello's okay. At what? There's a reason why she's just our true sidekick. And what a fuck you to Carmella, by the way. I didn't talk about this on the Raw review yesterday, and I shouldn't have missed it, because this is great. What a fuck you to Carmella. This whole time, women can win the 24/7 title. The whole time. She could have pinned Truth a million times, but they give it to Kelly Kelly. Now, I don't mind that, because it's Kelly Kelly. And basically, if Kelly Kelly became president, czar, champion of the world, friggin' king, queen, monarch, fucking whatever else, the king of Siam, the sultan, I don't give a shit. I'd give it all to her, because Kelly Kelly has to shit frozen yogurt. All right? Not ice cream, because ice cream will make you fat. Frozen yogurt tastes delicious and won't get on your hips. That's how amazing Kelly Kelly is. I'm just saying. Fig, I don't know why the way you say it's Kelly Kelly bothers me. I don't know why either. Probably because you hear the lust in my voice and it makes you uncomfortable. And it makes me uncomfortable, so I don't blame you. All right. All that tomfuckery out of the way. Let's get into the Smackdown review. First thing I want to talk about right off the bat. Great episode of Smackdown. Fantastic episode of Smackdown. Honestly, I have one gripe, one issue with Smackdown. I got no problems with anything that happened on Smackdown at all. Loved everything, to be honest. Loved the pacing, loved the writing. The segments and the promos were better than the wrestling, and the wrestling wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? It was pretty damn good, and yet the promos and the segments I felt were better. Something we don't typically say about WWE television. So I was really happy with the organization of the show. There was no wasted segments. There was no wasted moments. Raw, we had a lot of non-talking stuff. We had a lot of looks where an extra 20 seconds of note. You know what I mean? That adds up. Nothing like that on SmackDown. It was bang, 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 and almost everything worked. The one thing that didn't, and I won't even talk about it in the context of the review, I'll just bring it up now and get it out of the way, was the Mandy Rose backstage promo. And that's because she can't fucking talk. Another person, fantastic to look at, but maybe not too much more there. Now, I'm going to give Mandy a little bit more credit as far as in-ring goes, because I think she is actually pretty damn good in-ring. She's gotten better, a lot better in a very short period of time. So it was pretty damn good. It was, but that was not that Mandy, and I don't like the Mandy and what's her name, whatever they're doing. It's weird. We know this is my problems with kayfabe stuff, man. This is the issue with kayfabe. We know Mandy Rose is straight. She is said as much before. There's never been any indication that she's bi. None of that. However, we know. Why do I keep forgetting her fucking name? What's the other chick's name? I always fucking forget it. She's incredibly forgettable and incredibly blasé. What the hell is her name? I know her real name, Daria, but Jesus Christ. Sonya Deville, Jesus. We know she is as gay as fake ass twat. We know that's the fucking truth. They're trying to make this relationship sexual, which is fine. You want to try and get to different fan bases, and you want to try and check the boxes. And, if you can get a LGBT thing in there, absolutely do that. But I think maybe it's a bullshit argument that I'm making, because television has it. And television's fake too. Lots of non-fucking LGBT members have played gay characters. I think Tom Hanks has played a gay character. We know like many people have played gay characters. It ain't that big of a deal. Wrestling to me has always been a little bit different, because I feel the line is a little bit fucking thinner. you know? And it's just, I think it's a little bit harder to pull off because you kind of have to be that character all the time. So maybe it's not a bullshit argument. Maybe there is some substance there because it's not exactly the same as television, because as soon as the episode goes off, you can go back to being yourself. You can go back to, you know, being you and doing what you do. Wrestling, you kind of can't. We've seen this with relationships in particular. It's not an easy thing to pull off. Look at how many fucking times that Rusev and Lana have decided, nope, we're not doing this. We're just going to blow it up. We'll announce our engagement on Twitter in the middle of a storyline. People will go into business for themselves and fuck shit up. And with cameras on all the time, it's just, it's not that it's a bad thing per se, but it does take away from the believability. And I think over time it may not work. But that's just my opinion. Maybe the storyline will be that Mandy is going to kidnap Sonya and send her to conversion camp. Yes, because we know that Vice President Pence is now the head writer for SmackDown Live. That's the only reason that could possibly be. All right, but other than that, let's get the negative out of the way, man, because that was the only negative, and honestly, that wasn't even that bad. It was a 30-second promo in the back. It just sucked because, well, they suck. They're not very good, and I know that's kind of shitty to say, but fuck it. I'm not going to stop telling people that they suck. If I feel that you need improvement, if I don't feel that you are doing your job, just like you can tell me when I suck, I can tell anybody else when they suck. I'm tired of that. You got to be nice. Everybody be nice. And fuck all that. Well, we're going to be real. Doesn't mean about being nice or mean. It means about being real. All right. Actually getting into the meat and potatoes of the SmackDown. It starts off just House of Fire. You know, we go right into it. The Tom Phillips welcome everybody, all that blah, 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 blah. We see that the New Day is on commentary, and right there they had me hooked. They were absolutely lit. I don't know if they took away the Ritalin last night. I don't know if they gave them some fucking go-go juice last night. I don't know what they did to the New Day, but New Day was on fucking fire on commentary. It's just like, what I loved about it, and I got to give credit to Dustin Starr for this, because I was reading his live tweeting that he did about Raw or about SmackDown last night, because I had the same experience. I'm sitting there on the couch watching SmackDown, saying things, and New Day is saying the exact same things that I'm saying. That was a very cool experience. The New Day was very much on the pulse of the fans last night. There was a bunch of things that they said, especially at the beginning, that I was saying the exact same things at the exact same time. It was just a cool little thing. Shane comes down, you know, gets booed out of the building, blah, 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 all that type of stuff, and he starts talking about the same old shit that he's been talking about. And, of course, this all leads to the setup for the SummerSlam match with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, of course, accepts, and then we get a match later on for the night. And this was actually really good booking here. Shane making an arbitrary match against Roman Reigns. Now, that should have been left alone. But because this is a power-hungry, you know, McMahon storyline, of course, it has to be swerved. It has to be stacked up against everybody. And that's exactly what they did with having special guest timekeeper, ring announcer, and, of course, referee. And we know who those people were. McIntyre, McMahon, and Elias. They need to break this shit up. It's not working. Elias is further down the dumpster than I think he's been in a very long time. All value out of Elias. The rumors have been swirling that he might be looking to get out, and this might be part of the reason why. We don't know. But I am not expecting, and honestly, I won't be heartbroken if Elias is out of the company by the end of the year. Let him go to the Indies. He'll be the next fucking Damian Sandow, thinking he's way more fucking over than he actually is, and he's going to find out real soon that he's not. And, you know, we've seen this over and over and over again. The only true victim in the situation is Drew McIntyre, who I feel for Drew. And I would not blame Drew if he just said, F all this, I'm out, because think about what Drew did. Drew started in WWE years ago, and he kind of got a little bit of a rocket attached to his back, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. Zero happened with him. And he died a horrible death, basically. And he went out and he became a man on the indies, grew some hair on his chest, put on about 30 pounds of fucking muscle, and became a mean, ruthless man. and he dominated the indie scenes. He looked amazing. He's got such an incredible look, presence, and in-ring ability. He comes back to WWE, has an amazing, pretty damn good run in NXT. Didn't really need one because he is established. Comes up to the main roster, and he's just Shane McMahon's lackey. I personally didn't want Kevin Owens to be fighting Shane at SummerSlam. I wanted Drew to do it. I wanted Drew to beat the brakes off Kevin Owens. Shane McMahon. That's what I wanted. I wanted Drew to finally wake up and be like, this is bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. He basically said the same thing I said, and now I'm coming after you, McMahon. Something like that. Very easy. That would have been nice. But, of course, we don't get that. We just get more of this stuff. But, hey, at least we got a good match out of this, or at least on paper, a good main event. Owens and Roman Reigns would be later on in the night. And, of course, we know what happens there, but we'll get to that when we get there. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews. I am so happy about both of these people. Let me tell you, I thought Apollo Crews was done. I felt it was over. It didn't work. The project failed. Okay? This is another guy, Apollo Crews. Incredible indie standout. He was huge on the indies, and he comes over, gets a very short NXT run, doesn't do much down there, gets called up far too quickly, and has just been a job squad guy for the entire time that he's been up there. And I felt over the last couple of months he's gotten lazier. I don't feel that he's putting much effort into a lot of things. Over the last month and a half or so, that's changed. Apollo looks to have lost a little bit of weight maybe and like bulked up in other ways, like he lost some fat, put on a little bit. He looks more like Yuha Nation. He looks more like he did back then. Honestly, he looks more like he did right before he blew his knee out in one of the nastiest looking injuries that you're going to see just because of how weird it was. If you haven't seen Yuha Nation's disgusting knee break on the indies, go watch it. It's amazing. It really is. And he's looking like that guy again. And they're teasing the too easy stuff, which I think that they need to bring back. It's a great look. It's a great chant. It will help get him over. But the important thing is getting him right in ring, and he has been right and tight in ring for weeks now, getting a good push, and now he got Shinsuke Nakamura last night. And let me tell you, man, the crowd sucked, but these two put on a solid TV match. And what I like most about this, not only Apollo Crews getting the ability to come back and do the things that he does, Shinsuke Nakamura. Oh, God, I thought he was done. I thought he was out of the company. I thought he was back on his way to Japan. One of the biggest whiffs that WWE has had in the NXT era is Shinsuke Nakamura on the main roster. He's had opportunities, but every opportunity has come with a caveat, and most of the time off. And it hasn't worked. They changed and fucked with Shin's character so much and put so much emphasis on this artist bullshit and rock star bullshit. We forgot what Shin does, and Shin simply beats the fuck out of people. It's what he's done forever. He is one of the best strikers in wrestling, and I don't mean that in the Undertaker sense, like, one of the best pure strike. No, he makes his shit look vicious and real, and most importantly, I've never heard of Shinsuke injuring anyone from doing it. He has got some of the best control in his body that I think we've ever seen in wrestling. The only person that I can compare as far as making strikes look real would be Bret Hart, who I think to this day threw the best punch in the history of wrestling was Bret Hart. No, there's no question. Shin is right there. He's that good. And I love that Shin is really starting to get his stuff going again. I love that he's Intercontinental Champion. It sucks that it had to come at the behest of Finn Balor, but Finn has requested time off, so it all makes sense, and it all works out. And don't worry, Ujai, I'm sorry if I just butchered your name, Ujai Cook. Don't worry, I will answer your question. Make sure you just give it to me a little bit later on, because we'll take open questions towards the end of the show. But thank you for being here. I do appreciate you. Thanks. As the revival, Shinsuke is really nice to see. He seemed done after shit with Rusev. Many people seemed done at different points in time, and if you listen to the dirt sheets, all these people were leaving. The revival, Shinsuke, and many others, and yet here they all are as champions in good runs, seemingly very much happier in their situation. Now, even when Shin was being mismanaged, I said I didn't think he was going to be leaving back to Japan because he had already moved his family to America, and they're still here. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. But right now, Shin's on an upward trajectory, and here's the best part. This is how you know when any champion is over. When he steps in the ring, or effective, I should say. When he steps in the ring with somebody, and that opponent gets better because of that match. And Apollo looks better because of the match with Shinsuke Nakamura. Very, very happy about it. Thought it was a good one, and it certainly can come with more of a feud. I don't know if Apollo is ready for a SummerSlam match. More than likely, if it happens, it'll be on the pre-show, which is unfortunate. I think it's a disservice to Shin, but at the same time, crawl, walk, run, it's kind of how it goes. So we already talked about the terrible Sonya and Mandy backstage segment, but that was the only, again, I want to emphasize this. SmackDown was fire last night. Absolutely fire. However, they did have the one hiccup, and that was it. Mandy Rose and Sonya, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. The only reason I'm talking about it is because it was the only thing that was bad last night. It's the only reason why I've even mentioned it, because it was the only thing that I can point to and go, yeah, that sucked. All right, let's get to my favorite thing that happened last night. And obviously, it's not a big shock to anybody. I am a huge Shawn Michaels fan. Love Shawn so much. I don't know what happened. Shawn was supposed to be on commentary last night. Now, I got a feeling Shawn was going to get involved in the way that he did last night either way. We don't really know what it means yet. More than likely, it'll just be a special guest referee role, or it's going to be in the corner of type of role. But maybe it's going to end up being a match with Dolph Ziggler. I don't think it is. Shawn has recently said he is definitely not going to wrestle again. But I don't know. Let's talk about this. So The Miz brings out Shawn Michaels, and they're talking about all kinds of stuff. They're really not talking about much in particular, just talking about Raw reunion and all kinds of stuff like that. And out comes Dolph Ziggler, which made me very happy. I love when Dolph and Shawn are in the same presence because Dolph is basically Shawn. He is a cheap carbon copy of Shawn. They really are. And he really is. It's just interesting to me because they've kind of avoided this in the past. Now, Shawn has made comments about Dolph being a copy and a ripoff of Shawn in the past. But to do it in the ring, I thought it was a very, very cool and much better way to do it. And the most important thing is, after seeing on Raw just how badly that WWE can use legends in these type of situations, it was so refreshing to see them get it right. They got it right last night. They got it right. This is how you use a legend to get over younger. I'm using the word younger very loosely with Dolph and The Miz, but younger talent, this is how you get them over. And it was a brilliant use of it. So he comes in and they start trading some bombs. The promos were fucking tight, and from what I'm hearing, a little less scripted last night. Now, I can't confirm that. It's just things that I'm hearing through the grapevine. A little less scripted, a little more tight and right. Felt like very much a Eric Bischoff show. Now, that is just me saying it. I know it was his first official show. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have a lot of influence last night, but it felt like he did, and not only this, but in another segment that we'll talk about in just a few minutes. But I love this entire thing. Ziggler continuing to do his bullshit, blah, 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 blah. And talking about Shawn's match at Crown Jewel, where he called Shawn an embarrassment and all this, which I got a little bit of a problem with because Shawn was the best part of that match. Shawn looked really good in that match. Maybe, okay, look, I'm biased. We know this. But I felt he looked really good. And Mello Dottie, who is an awesome friend and fan of the show, told me that she remembered that Shawn kind of carried that match because Triple H had a injury halfway through the fight, and I think that was true. Shawn looked very good in that, but still, let's throw that out and we can go back to, because still, coming out of retirement, I can understand the embarrassment angle, and I don't really have a problem with it. It was smart. Shawn admitting to it, but then saying, what's even worse, working your whole career, giving everything you've got, and still being left with nothing but being known as a second-rate Shawn Michaels wannabe. That was great. Because it's It's things we've all said. And then when you get physical, there's always a worry about screwing this up. That did not happen. The timing of the shots, Dolph hitting Miz by accident, Shawn then dropping Dolph and then getting dropped by a super kick. Perfect. Now, they could do whatever they want from the situation. They could do with the Miz that they've done with Legends with him before, put him in the corner, blah, 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 blah. Then I thought of something. If they're not going to do the match with Shawn and Dolph, which I don't think they're doing, and I know they also, as Ajay Cook said, they teased AJ and HBK. Not the first time they've done that as well. I don't think Shawn's wrestling again. I want him to wrestle again, and I want to listen to the little thing in the back of my head that's saying, you know what, he might be. But I don't think he is. I got a feeling that there's a different play it here. Now, Shawn as a heel is nowadays not the easiest sell. Turning somebody that people love so much into an evil character can come with risks. But what if Shawn becomes the new... It's hard to say a manager for a 37-year-old wrestler, which I think that's how old Dolph Ziggler is. But what if Shawn, over the next couple of years, guided Dolph and they kicked it into this new gear? That might be something kind of cool. Kind of something cool. I don't know. I think there might be something good there. But however they do it, even if it is just Miz and Dolph, at least now there is more emphasis. There is more onus. There is more importance to the match just because of Shawn's involvement, and that's what you want, because more than likely this is no more than a special guest referee spot for a major pay-per-view, and you're going to use someone like Shawn Michaels in a situation like this because of his ties to the Miz and Dolph. So it makes a lot of sense to me. I hope there's more, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's look at the chat, baby, and see what's going on here. Twat, the use of Shawn was much better than the contrived typical DX reunions we've been seeing. Agreed. Carl G's in the house. Yeah, the 98-cent store version of HBK. Agreed. P-Gay, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. It was night and day with how the Legends were used on Raw and on Raw compared to SmackDown. 100% agree with you, Fake. A nod is here. How you doing? Old School Matt, Fake question. What if they had the Click running around with the 24/7 title, end up with Xbox ending up being pinned at the end of the night to Braun? Wow, that is random as fuck, Old School Matt. I love you. Old School, HBK is a solid gold puzzle piece that doesn't really fit in any puzzles WWE owns. I don't know, he fit in last night's puzzle. Salt to Cameron, HBK needs to take the NXT hat off. First off, no, because he's bald and I don't want to see that old bald head. Two, he is working in NXT. Let him represent those young bucks. It's what Shawn's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be that guy, and he's doing a good job. Thank you, P-Gay. Thank you for derailing the conversation. That's awesome. Here you go. Think about your life choices, fucko. All right, let's continue on here. All right, for good shows to be considered good, a lot of things has to happen. You got to have good wrestling. You got to have good promos. You got to have good commentary. You got to have good everything. But to take it to that next level, you also have to have unexpected moments. And honestly, when I saw Ember Moon and Charlotte, I was like, all right, this is just going to be a solid women's match. We haven't had one in a while. We actually could really use a really good women's match. This should be it. Ember Moon is on her way to SummerSlam to take on Bayley. Charlotte really hasn't been doing all that much, so her taking a loss here to put over the next opponent for Bayley makes a lot of sense. Bam, they said, nope, motherfuckers, this is how it's actually going to happen. Ember says, screw yo couch, fuck yo couch, because Bayley comes down. Ember immediately goes out to try and cut off Bayley, gives her a little punch, sends her over into Charlotte. She takes out Bayley, and then Ember hits Eclipses on both women, making a huge statement. I thought it was a very good way to do it. They had options here. They could keep Bayley and Ember as is for SummerSlam, thus showing some confidence in not only their champion Bayley, but in the contender Ember Moon. Or they could do what they always do when they get a little bit nervous about a storyline, and that's enter Charlotte into it and make it a triple threat. It doesn't look like they're doing that. It doesn't look like that's what they're doing. It looks like there might be a different play here because there's a major rumor going around after what Charlotte said last night, that because she was talking about how she's going to have a match at SummerSlam. After she got ambushed by Amber Moon and all that, she goes, I'm going to have a match at SummerSlam, and it's going to be more important than Bayley's. It's going to be a bigger match. So immediately everybody started thinking who? Everybody started thinking who, and there's a lot of names that are out there as rumor. Now, Zanta Claws did some good research and found out that one of the biggest names that are being teased for it and maybe even promoted already for it is Trish Stratus. And I think that makes a lot of sense. We haven't seen Trish in a while. She's probably been getting into shape. We've heard this, that she did have one more run she kind of wanted to do, or at least have some more spots in matches and things like that. So that would be a really cool get to be able to do. If she's right, Trish and Charlotte at SummerSlam would be a major match. Now, there's also been speculation as to why they want to kind of reset Charlotte and get more eyes on her. I'm not exactly 100% sure that's the reasoning. Charlotte's a 9-time champion. She's established. She doesn't really have to do much of anything. But you have to make them feel like something is bigger. And with Charlotte, there's the fact that you can't just have a bottom bitch match with Charlotte at SummerSlam. It's got to be something big. And being in Toronto, Trish Stratus makes all the sense in the world. Now, I do think that there's some other people who could potentially fill the role if Trish is not able. The biggest reasoning is no question because it's in Toronto. But it doesn't necessarily have to mean it's going to be Trish. It could be a call-up. Shayna Baszler is probably at the point where she should be called up. That could be an interesting situation, which could also lead to the speculation that we've been hearing about Ronda Rousey returning. It could even be Ronda returning. But more than likely it will be Trish. But Trish has backed out of matches in the past. She's had a couple of set things that she was supposed to do with Lita over the last, year and a half that just ended up not happening. And really nobody had a reason or rationale as to why. So who knows? It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I didn't even think about the Toronto thing, honestly. I didn't even think about it because it's Canada, and who thinks about Canada? Not me. Salty Cam, remember when HBK fingered Sunny live on it? Yes. The finger bang of Sunny. I love Sunny. She was my first thing. Fake. Charlotte's promo about facing someone bigger than Bayley and Ember at SummerSlam and wanting to prove that she's the greatest female superstar of all time. SummerSlam is in Canada. I think I know who. Yeah, it made sense. And Zanta, like he said, it's her hometown after all. It makes all the sense in the world. I don't think Lita and Trish were ever asked to be at Mania. At least that's what Lita said. I don't know what it is. I mean, but that's not the only match that has been teased. They were teased a couple other times, or at least the dirt sheets went wild. We don't know what's true on the dirt sheets, but we do know that Trish has pulled out of a couple appearances over the last couple of years, but it is what it is. Trish is a busy person. She's been pregnant. She's done this. She comes back. It's going to be a cool thing to see if she is going to be in this match. And if it is, hopefully it'll be good. Can she work a major marquee match? That's the biggest question. Will they have Trish with 2 weeks left to build? Granted, you don't need to build when it's in her hometown, but we haven't seen her physically. We don't know what type of in-ring shape she's in. She hasn't had to wrestle a singles match, let alone one of this caliber, with one of the best in the business in a very long time. So, I don't know. This one feels weird. This one feels very weird. This is a big spot, and it could be a big letdown. This is my only reservation on why I don't think it could be Trish, but I'm 95% certain it'll be Trish. But still, cool stuff there, and we'll see how it goes. Carl, Shayna beat the bricks off Charlotte would be fun to see. I know you really want to see Charlotte beat the hell up. Not, and I'm surprised Shayna hasn't been called up by now. She still has a little bit of work to do, I think, and that's probably fair. And they also want to establish the other people in the group. You know, they also want to get those two up to the same par. So that's probably why she's still down there, if I had to guess. Old school man, I just thank God that Natalya is the only female heart left in wrestling. Fake. Trish versus Charlotte really doesn't need much build, honestly. Just kind of writes itself. It does, but that's not the worry. That's not what I meant as far as build. This is Trish coming in off the streets with no TV time, no match time, no ring time, nothing, and going into a major pay-per-view match with one of the best in the world. Charlotte is one of the best. Carl, plug your fucking ears. Charlotte is one of the best wrestlers on the planet, male or female. She's fantastic. She's athletic. She knows what she's doing. She's great. Can Trish have that match with her? Can she? We'll see. We'll see. All right, continuing on here. So I loved everything that happened there. I thought it was really good. Now this is where everything switched out. And by the way, I know I'm not talking about all the amazing things that the New Day did, such as singing along to Shawn Michaels' music and so much more. They were great. But, we already talked about the New Day, but they were fantastic. They were great on commentary. Maybe a little bit too amped, but still really, really good. They get replaced by Michael Cole and David Otunga, who's still alive. Hey, look at that. David Otunga, still alive. Good for him. And now they start getting into the Kofi Kingston situation. The Kofi Kingston, who comes out. Now, we all expected Kofi to call out Monsieur Randy Orton, and that's exactly what he ends up doing. And it's good stuff. It works out quite well. Quite well. But the problem is, we also had to deal with the match with Samoa Joe. So how would they do all this? Calling out your opponent for SummerSlam before you have a match with somebody, it's a little bit backwards when you think about it. Because now you're going to have to figure out, is this going to work itself? And especially when the person is already in the ring, like Randy was. But that's not the story here. The story is the promo. The story is the promo. Kofi getting really real on Randy and talking about the things that we talked about way back in 2009 when Randy Orton was still known as not a very good guy. Randy has been accused many times of using his clout to get people fired or get things stopped, getting motions stopped. Kofi was just getting hot. I'm so glad that they showed the footage of Kofi dropping Randy through the table. I'm glad that they referenced it. I thought it was a smart thing to do. And I love even more that Kofi accused Randy of using his sway to stop his ascent. And the fact that Randy admitted to it and then came back at Kofi even harder. It was just a great promo that didn't say too much. It said just the right amount. Both of them dropped their bomb. Both of them moved on. I thought it was cool as shit. Loved it. Loved when he said, I never had to fake a Jamaican accent or throw pancakes or shake his ass. Loved it. When Randy wants to, Randy can be one of the better promos in wrestling. He's underrated on the microphone because you don't hear a lot from the Viper. But when he wants to, Randy's amazing. Not for nothing, let's do a little sidebar here for a moment as you guys go ahead and hit that like button, which I'm sure you've just been waiting to do, and tweeting out the stream and all of that good stuff, because why the hell are you not? But Randy might actually go down as top 3 of all time. When his career finally is over and you look at everything, Randy is almost a perfect wrestler. He almost is. His career has been unbelievable. And I understand that people can get tired of Randy at times. People can be bored with Randy at times. But how often does a guy essentially stay the same for an almost 20-year career but still evolve the character in different ways with subtle differences psychologically, which I think Randy has done many times over his career? Yeah, he's had some dull moments and everything, but so has everybody. It's a 20-year fucking career. And it's been absolutely amazing. I really, the older I'm getting, the more I'm appreciating Randy Orton, and I really think it's pretty good. I wouldn't say he's the greatest or anything like that, but he's about as close to perfect physically and the type of psychological shit going on that you want. And he is fantastic in the ring. I'm just a huge fan. And I'm not saying top 3 in-ring performer fake. I'm talking top 3 overall package. When it's all said and done, you're going to have to put him in that conversation. He's got the titles for it. He's got the fucking marquee moments for it. He's been in multiple groups of which he elevated other people within those groups. He's main evented every event. I'm sorry. I don't know how you don't put him in at least the top 5, if not top 3. when it's all said and done. I'm talking 10 years from now, because I think Randy still got hell of a career left. I don't know. I don't know who you're gonna put. I put him ahead of fucking Bret Hart. I think he is a better package than guys like Bret Hart. Bret was not a good promo, like fucking ever, until he went, bitter Bret, you Canadian, you damn Americans, because they hurt me. You know, I told him not to hurt me, and he hurts me because he's American. That was the only time that Bret Hart was ever fucking interesting on the microphone, was when he just went crazy. That was it. I'm sorry. I don't put guys like that as overall packages in front of people like Randy Orton. I can't. I never will. And I don't care. Eat my dick. Eat it. But we'll see. Continuing on here. Oh. Yeah, he elevated Cody, and look how that's turned out. Hashtag fuck you, Randy. No. Don't blame Randy for that. Blame Dusty. Blame Dusty for telling Cody how amazing he was his entire life, and telling Cody that he has movie star good looks. Dusty Rhodes, who looks like a fucking plumber, he's gonna tell Cody, because he's in shape, that he has movie star good looks. He doesn't. Cody's got one of the weirdest fucking chiseled faces I've ever seen. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. That and the other person to blame is his wife, Brandy Rhodes, because I am more convinced, more than ever, especially after reading some of the things that Brandy has been doing publicly on Twitter, responding to people who have been telling her that she sucks. That's the first thing. She is awful. Brandy Rhodes is one of the most unathletic people I've ever seen in my entire life. This woman can barely get into a fucking wrestling ring. Here, let me tell you what actually happened with Cody Rhodes and WWE and the formation of AEW. Let me explain to you what actually happened, because I said this a long time ago, and I hope somebody can go find the clip, because I was on this from day fucking one. Cody was fine in WWE. He may not have been happy, but I think he always knew that he was going to get that elevation eventually. And I do think he would have. He had to leave a little bit, maybe come back and all this stuff. But here's what I think happened. Brandy was told she will never be given an opportunity to wrestle in WWE. I think she wanted to go down to NXT and develop. And they were like, no, you have value as an interviewer. You have value as a ring announcer. This is where you need to be. And I think she got real bitter, real angry, and real fucking entitled. And she got a hold of her man's dick and dragged him away from WWE, away from everything that he's ever known, and said, we're going to start something because I need to wrestle. I need to wrestle, and you're going to make this happen. And that's what I think actually happened. I think this is all about Brandy Rhodes and nothing more. And now Cody's just bought into it. Cody's kind of like this guy who's, now it's all off the rails. Now AEW's a thing, and is it going to work? I'll tell you this. AEW's matches have not impressed me one iota. Their spot fest botchy bullshit is not doing anything for me. It's not even a little bit. And if they would just stop talking about WWE for 2 seconds, maybe I would be able to connect a little bit more. But they can't, and I can't fucking deal with it. So no, I'm not going to be supporting AEW until they actually start, doing the things that I feel that you have to do. Pay your dues. Maybe they should have went on the road for a year before getting an immediate TV deal. Think immediate competition. It's just, I don't know. The whole situation drives me crazy. But I've talked about AEW enough in the past. You guys know exactly what I be talking about. Old school. Don't forget What Culture, blowing smoke up his ass for 2 years. Yeah, but that to me isn't a big deal. That to me isn't a big deal. All the stuff that he did, at What Culture and all the indies, that's just them doing their jobs. That to me isn't a big deal. I think he was already feeling himself well before then. Well before then. Okay, continuing on here. Now I got that out of my system. Samoa Joe and Kofi Kingston had a little match. Not much of a match. It looks like Samoa Joe is now going back down the ladder. Big time. He's losing a lot as of late. I don't know. It feels, it's so weird. He's like a gatekeeper. He's become that guy that is just being used situationally, but he's not getting the big push that I think a lot of people want to see out of him. Joe has been one of the better heels in WWE since he has come into WWE. He has absolutely been the best version of himself in his entire career, and he was pretty goddamn good down in TNA, you know? So I don't know. I'm really enjoying what he's doing. To see him lose and then kind of just brushed aside like he was last night. You know, Randy Orton, now granted, it was just a disqualification loss. Not a big deal. But still, to then try to insert yourself in the match, which I thought maybe was going to be because of a triple threat reason, and then only to be dropped by Randy and then just cast aside. It was just a little unfortunate. A little sad, but not bad in any way. If you want to nitpick and complain about Joe not getting his dues, then I guess that's something to complain about. But the segment was good. It was effective. So what are we talking about? You know. Ready. Oh yes, let's talk about Finn Balor on television, shall we? Here we go. Finn looks tired. Finn looks haggard. Finn looks like he just needs to take about a 3-week fucking nap. And he comes out and he looks shook, which, by the way, Kayla even says, "You look shook," which I thought was kind of funny. And he's talking about The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. He put over the moment very, very well. The attack, he put over the entire situation really well. And he's just ready to go. He wants to take him on at SummerSlam. And okay, then Bray Wyatt comes on screen in the Firefly Funhouse in a really good segment, all leading to, once again, The Fiend coming out and accepting the challenge, coming out on screen, not on person, not on television, coming out and accepting the match. No reference to the Demon. This should be a very quick match at SummerSlam. I'm not expecting much out of it. It's going to be a showcase for the new Bray Wyatt, for the new Fiend, and then eventually when Finn comes back, which I think around Survivor Series, we will see the Demon reemerge. Maybe they keep him off all the way until Royal Rumble, which might be the better way. This is personally how I would book this. I'd have Finn go away. Yeah, send him away for the next 5 months. Let him have an extended break. Let him really clear his head, because he could be very important when he returns. And over the next 4 or 5 months, you have Bray Wyatt absolutely run roughshod over WWE, taking out everything, and still every so often showing the Finn Balor situation. Then Finn comes back as the Demon, and a big rivalry ensues. Maybe even over a title. Because I think over the next 5 months, there's no reason, with all of the flux that's happening in the title pictures, both on SmackDown and Raw. Kofi with a very long reign, gonna need a new big rival very soon. And then Brock Lesnar holding the title hostage on Raw once again. We're gonna need something different. We're gonna need somebody to take the reins here, for lack of a better term. And that person could easily be Bray Wyatt. So by the time that Finn comes back, maybe this has got a whole different feel to it, and I think it'll be pretty damn cool. So it's going to be interesting. We will look. I know, Fake. You're saying it sucks that it's going to be ending so soon, but it's not. It's just going to be I think it's just going to be a quick little send off. Finn has been 3-0 at SummerSlam every year, and every year has been the Demon. Doesn't mean he's going to be the Demon this year. I mean, to me, that doesn't make sense. If you have him as the Demon and you have him get destroyed by Bray Wyatt, which he's going to lose this match. Finn is losing this match 100%. If you're going to do that, you don't sacrifice the Demon unless Finn's done with the company. Unless that this whole time off thing is bullshit and he is actually leaving. If he's leaving, then all bets are off. Sure, squash the Demon on the way out. Why give him extra value? That's what WWE will do. So... yeah, but I think it will just be a regular Finn Balor versus The Fiend. And then when Finn does, maybe Finn's only gone 3 weeks. Maybe he's not even gone that long. And when he returns for the next pay-per-view, it's the Demon. There's a million ways they could book this. A million ways they could do it. It's really not that hard. All right, we got the Charlotte announcement that she's going to have a match at SummerSlam. Of course, we already talked about that. We think it's going to be Trish. And then we get Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in the main event. That doesn't really even happen. It ends up turning into a Donnybrook exactly the way that we thought it would. And the biggest thing that I could take away from all of this is that Roman intentionally puts over Kevin Owens in a big way. When a wrestler, typically, especially when they're competing in the same ring, either as opponents or as a team at the end of a show, if it's two top guys like Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens are at the moment, they share the ring together at the end. They raise their hands together. They toast it, whatever. It's a moment together. Reigns left and allowed Kevin Owens to have all the spotlight on himself. Reigns left the ring and then came back. It was a cool thing to see, and it might be more important than you think, because Reigns transitioning into the next part of his career, he's going to need to do stuff like this. Sometimes you have to put over the other guy to be able to make steps and strides yourself. And with all the things that have happened with Roman with the crowd as of late, this is not the worst thing. Now, what are you going to do with Roman going to SummerSlam and other things? We'll figure it out. But this was a smart move, and Kevin Owens looked amazing coming out of SmackDown. House of Fire, man. He's got all the steam, all the momentum, and they're doing a really good job with him. My one gripe, God, he throws one of the ugliest stunners I think I've ever seen. He throws the stunner like Steve Austin throws the stunner now. Slow and kind of uncoordinated. And it's just, you don't have to do the kick. You don't have to do the kick every time. Please don't do the kick every time. It doesn't have to do, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it, Kevin. Come on, man. No more kicking in the gut first. It seems to throw off the entire timing. It looks herky-jerky, and it just looks weird. But hey, it's still getting popped when it's not botching. I don't know. And that's it. That's SmackDown. That's SmackDown. There you go. That was it, and I thought it was really damn good. I think top to bottom, it was one of the best SmackDowns of the year so far. Maybe definitively one of the best SmackDowns of the year. It didn't have to be spectacular to be an organized, very tight, very well-written show. And that's what I thought we got last night. I thought we got a very, very, very damn good, solid show that had better promos than in-ring wrestling. So I'm going to give this show a solid 8.5. It's somewhere in the 8s. Somewhere in that 8s. It was a damn good show. I really liked it. Let me know what you guys think about that show last night. What'd you think out of a scale of 1 to 10? Let me know. I need to know. Tell me, motherfucker, because I need to know. Tell me what you thought of it. If you don't do it here, do it in the comment section below. All right, so we got just a few more seconds left here, a few more minitos. Let's open up the Discord. If you want to get in there, feel free. It's down below in the description box. I'm sure my wonderful people in the Moosh Poofs community, modders, and all that stuff will throw the link in the chat as well. But it is down below if you want to come in, get in a waiting call, and I will take your call before we get out of here. All right? Much appreciate everybody being lit in the chat. How you doing, AJP? Hopefully everything is doing well with you. Old School Matt, I give it a 7 to an 8, maybe a 9. It was Beefcake! Beefcake! That's right. I had a dream. Follow your dreams. Beefcake! SmackDown was a very enjoyable show from what I saw of it. I missed it. Of course, I missed one of the better shows of the year, of course. Toxic Dome showing up as well. What's up, buddy? Good to see ya. How you doing? Thank you, Zanta Claws, for throwing that wonderful link into the Discord. What a wonderful mush puff he is. Hey, don't worry about it. If you don't show up in the waiting to call, it ain't a big deal. I'm ready to get up out of here and start the rest of my day because I got to take the Twitch. I got to go see if I'm a millionaire. I played Mega Millions yesterday because I'm desperate. Because I'm incredibly desperate right now. It's like, oh, God, I don't know. The next couple of months are going to be tough. So I played Mega Millions, and I have a good feeling. I defied the odds, and I'm sitting here right now as a millionaire. Wouldn't that be awesome if I won Mega Millions and this whole time I've been a millionaire? This whole time that I've been a millionaire. How great would that be? God, I'm going to burn so many bridges if I become a millionaire. Don't let me have money. God ain't letting me have money. Trust me, it's not good. Zanta, what are you playing on Twitch? I think probably Dead Rising 4 again, but I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. I might play 7 Days to Die. I might let you guys decide if you want to initiate the game flip rules. I'll let that shit happen. If you want to choose what I play, you guys can do that as well. You know how it goes. So there you go. I think that's going to do it. No one in the Discord, so we're going to get out of here. I appreciate everybody hanging out. You guys are fucking awesome. Fake everything but Minecraft. I played Minecraft like yesterday for a few minutes. Get the fuck out of here. Can never do anything. Can't satisfy anyone. This is bullshit. All right, so thank you very much for hanging out. I do appreciate you. Hopefully you have a fantastic fantastic rest of your day, and catch me on Twitch in a little bit. Keep an eye on my Twitter so you can see when we will be live on Twitch. And it's okay that we don't have everybody in the world here for the live review. Make sure you tweet it out. Let everybody know that the review is up. And if they want to see the best review of Smackdown that they're going to see this week, tell them to go watch the copious review, because it will be up on demand on YouTube momentarily. Thank you very much for being here. We will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave live on YouTube. Keep it copious, folks. And remember, as always, if you don't have talented friends like Fake Ass Swat, who did the graphics, like Zanta, Terry, and Bear Bear, my wrestling news team. If you want to join that, hit me up in the DMs. They are open. And, of course, Dueling Duels Drew for this wonderful outro. Peace!